Going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Other Guys Podcast Reactions. Today, we're going to be talking about the strategic singlehood of Black women. I think this is a Kevinsamuels video. This is a lot of our first time seeing it, so let's jump in and see what he's talking about.
What are you talking about?
Picture in
Doing my red
picture.
dot.
Boom. Here we go. Guys, look at what I'm about to read. Look at who wrote this. Bella De Paulo, not a black woman.
Mm.
Defying stereotypes, single life for black women is
First red
often
flag.
purposeful and freeing. Black women. Black women. Black women in the chat room. How many of you feel purposeful and free with this single life where you got to pay all the bills and be responsible for all the things? How many of you feel purposeful and free?
It's a hell of a question,
See,
ain't it?
what they do is they play on your vanity, What they do is they play on the vanity of a woman and say, being single gives your life purpose and you're free. Remember why I said that marriage is slavery marriage to a lot of sisters is tantamount to slavery?
Yeah, so that's just the first, like one of the opening clips for the monologue. So I actually have, so I've seen the whole thing, and so we're just gonna go over just a couple of clips. But yeah, it's the first thing. So this one, the big thing that he was pointing out on that video is this was like psychology today. So this is like National Geographic, but for psychology. So this is not like the Inquirer or some gossip magazine. This is like official, right? This is what people are looking at, and if every lady that's going to, you know how many black women are going into psychology, they're all reading this every single day. This is like being put up on CNN, right, or MSNBC, and they're
Talking
sitting there
about this
watching it.
this article by Bella.
Yeah, this is psychology today, man. This is like it is. It has the
Hmm.
legitimacy. It's legitimate as you can get, and it's putting this
Okay.
stuff out. I mean, down the street from me, it blew my
Hmm.
mind. It's this billboard. I got to get a picture of it to show you guys. It's like it has a black woman getting a degree, and it literally says, degree earned, bag secured, and so they like hitting it real. No, in real life,
Hold
in
on,
real life.
hold on. Make me big. I gotta say some shit. I was
Okay.
disturbed immediately.
He said,
Make me
"Make me
humongous, please.
big."
I need you to feel this one. Look, I knew that the shit was going left when he started off with like Bella. I was like, I thought they said strategic singlehood of black women. Why is Ashanti not writing this? I don't understand
Right.
what Bella who made Bella the expert on black women, but maybe she's done her research.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, and it's
so,
like well, you can't, and you'll get jumped on. So if you are not co-signing the nonsense that they spew to people on a daily basis, because this is the same stuff that they've been getting, like our community, our women, everybody has been getting told for so long, and we've been going down this path for decades, and it's not like it's getting better. I think we're leading the charge. As far as I would say that we have more like the black culture is the most feminist culture in the United States. So for anybody else that wants to get
Hmm.
into that
if
wants
you
to
if you
push
if
it,
you define feminists as like strong, independent, don't really like men, need men, then yeah, for sure.
Korea, Japan. If you want to know where you're heading, just look at our community.
Yeah.
Because you want this is where it's going for everybody. But absolutely, so they push it down their throats. Like I said, it's sitting up there on a
Hmm.
billboard. Degree earned, bag secured. It's like any degree, and you can tell that people believe it. It's like any degree that you get, you're gonna make money. As soon as I get out of school, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that with my communications degree. You know, but let's look
Wait,
at
hold
the
on. Let me
next
let
one.
me let me add this. So just the title starting off. What is it? Single. Hold on. Let me read it again.
Strategic
Singlehood,
singlehood of
not
black women.
Strategic
singleness.
singlehood of black women. Right. So I haven't seen the whole article. I haven't seen the whole video. I'm just calling bullshit up front. Right. Because strategic makes it strategic means like it's planned,
Yeah.
right? And I wouldn't say that a woman being single because she cannot secure a man is strategic. It's That's a
Ooh.
deficiency.
Mm.
Hold up,
Mm.
hold up, hold up.
You done broke some shit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He got to breaking some shit down right there.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that's
Um,
not strategic. That's
No.
like
r-
you. That's
right. You saying
deficient.
it's yeah. You saying it's not done with intent. It's just kind of stumbling upon it. And I'm gonna make the best out of
Yeah, and
because it
so
does seem that a lot of people want it. It's like I don't want to be, but I'm just gonna. That's all I got. So I'm gonna be single.
and
You
then
know what I'm
your
saying?
only choice at that point is to double down on it. You know what
Right.
I'm
Like
saying?
now, yeah. Now you
That
gotta
these
really embrace
niggas,
it.
yeah, yeah, you
Yeah.
have no choice because that's the only thing. And so to save face, you gotta join in on whatever the motto is. You know what I'm saying at that time
Hmm.
that's going
Yeah.
on in your group. So,
Because if you haven't,
um,
then you lost. You're right. So then you lost. It's like, okay, well, okay, I'm single. I don't have a guy. I don't have a man. And if I don't say it's planned, that means I failed. I've been dating since I was 15 years old, and I don't have a man. But I got kids. I got bills. I don't have no man. And so if I don't say it's planned, I have to say that if I'm 35, I have failed for 20 years to
hmm
secure something.
I got
Mm.
everything that a
He said
married
that.
woman has except a commitment. I have
Yeah.
everything else.
So
Mm.
you got to spin that in a positive way because you can't say you
Boy,
can't be negative about the. You got to be
motherfuckers don't
positive.
like the truth.
Yeah,
Motherfuckers
no,
don't
not
like
like
the
the truth.
truth.
Let's look at the next one. It'll be even more fun.
Let me see.
It'll come on in a few seconds here.
I want you guys to understand what's going on. Across the country, you're starting to see mayors put in programs to give economic assistance to single mothers. 850 to $1,000. Who do you think they look like? They look like you. They're giving it to single mothers. And who are they gonna give it to? They're gonna give it to the women that look like Keisha. That's who they're giving it to. They're Now here's the funny thing. Back in the 60s, we could at least back in the 60s say we didn't know. Now y'all know. What are you going to do? Um, let's continue. A little bit behind. The number and proportion of people living single has been on the rise, both in the U.S. and around the world. The proportion of black women who are not married is higher than Latinas, white, Asian, or Asian American women. If you were to guess why so many black women in the United States are married, what would you say?
Okay.
Hey, I like that cliffhanger. I don't know if that was in the article or not, but that shit was funny as fuck.
Yeah, yeah, he's reading it right now, and it goes on to say like, oh, you would think that they are. Here we go. And so,
The least,
oops.
the least
Yeah,
desired.
yeah, it's like no, it's not that. The article goes and
The
it puts a positive spin on
yeah.
it because this is strategic. This is planned. The single motherhood, the high abortion rate, the poverty.
Hey,
The
it's not because of lack of desire. Everybody starts something. It's the lack of want. That's not what they want. Cause we done all chased a sister before. You know what I'm saying? Like been engaged with a woman before. Like been attracted to black women. uh, Still are attracted to black women, right? So it's not like they ain't got nobody out there that want them. It's just that they choosing to live this lifestyle the way I don't know. They choosing to be like anti-marriage and want to get married at the same time. So it's kind of
yeah, it's
counterintuitive.
they want the benefits of marriage without having like the downside
The
because
Right.
responsibility.
I want to be independent. I don't want to give and I don't want to participate. I don't want you to restrict me in any way. But I heard that they got the benefits though.
like
And I
yeah, I'm gonna
heard that I
talk.
want the marriage benefits if you can come up off of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna share with y'all what I think because what I think it has evolved. I used to think that it's not this direct. Women don't think men are like it's not like hey like men are beneath us. They're lesser than. It's not that clear of thought. that clear of a thought that goes through their head, but it's the way that it comes off, right? And
Right.
so you can't negotiate with someone, and you can't work with someone, a compromise with someone that's beneath you. And so with like
Mm.
this teaching that they have, it shows them that they're beneath you. If you have to compromise with someone, that's beneath you, like, I mean, why would you do that? You talking to your kid and they like, hey, I want to play my video game now. You're like, well, that's too bad because you got to go to sleep in 30 minutes.
Right.
And they're like, hey,
Hmm.
well, that don't work for me. And you're like, listen, I don't have to negotiate with you. You're a kid.
Right.
You can get your
I'm like, you
chores
gotta take what you
done.
get.
You can get your chores done. You can do your schoolwork, and then you can play your game, or that's done. You only got 30 minutes. You wasted the time. Too bad. And that's how women want to deal with men. They want to, hey, these men are less than us. Like they never stop to think. It's like everything that they say, they go, hey, I don't have to change for you. I don't have to change for anyone. I should be accepted as who I am. But then every single lady that I mean Kevin Samuels talked to, the interviews that we do, what do they say? They want a man who, they he outgrew him. At the same person who will say that they don't have to change for anybody else. And say, I outgrew him. I changed. And so now I'm done with him because he hasn't changed. He's been the same person for the last 5 years. But I shouldn't have to change for anybody. The, it's the ideology. But I used to think it was a clear thought that men are less than us, but it's not. I'm gonna share with you guys at the end what I think it is, and tying it back into Kevin Samuels, like not so much a concept, but the way he branded something. Let's jump in. Let's listen to a little bit more, and let's hit play on this.
Kind of stuff has debunked that over and over again. So now what are they going to do? They're going to tell the story that, oh, here's what it is. This is what the story is now, black woman, is black women are taking agency over their single status. They're taking agency over their single woman status.
You couldn't make this stuff up.
That's right. You couldn't make this stuff up. Now they're trying to get, now you got a non black woman sitting here writing the fact that black women are single because you're taking agency of your purposeful and freeing life to be a HR professional, a teacher, a social worker, retail, all the things that so many of our women work in. We're not talking about things that are really changing the world. We're talking about jobs that ultimately end up serving their kids. I'm going there tonight because I get dinged often by you hate black women and such and so forth. I'm more pro-black than a lot of people who say they're pro-black. Cause I make people, more black women over here have admitted that they've got with their black husband as a result of watching this content. More black families have united, formed, and reunited. Judge based on the facts, but this is about men and women. And understand something. To all my non-black male followers, understand something. It starts here. It's coming y'all's direction next.
100%. Like,
It just sounds like a
100%.
bunch of more bullshit to me. The article says some of them are choosing to stay single. Like, but yeah, that's what a level of contempt for men looks like in the real world. You know what I'm saying? Like you can say you're
Right.
choosing to stay single, or you could say men notice your energy and stay far away from you, outside of looking for sex from you, right? So it's like you're not going to sit here and tell me that we are grown men and women, and we are like we grew up in a not a culture, just as an animal, we are social creatures, and you're not telling me the most social of the bunch,
It's
i.e., women, are choosing to stay
it,
alone for the remainder of their life.
yeah.
I'm not
And
believing that.
and here's what happens. So it's like instead of taking that responsibility of dealing with somebody that demands more, or changing my behaviors to assimilate my people of higher quality, people just like giving up, like, nah, everybody's shitty, so I'm just gonna do whatever, and
I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna give up.
I'm a quit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna even filter through this. I'm not gonna deal with it. I'm just gonna go to work, complain about it, complain about people that ain't doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
And what else did I read somewhere? The unhappiest group demographic in America today, right, are 42-year-old single women who've never married and don't have kids, right? Like
Damn.
their entire life is essentially their career,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if you reverse that, if you give the average man, right, because the average guy in America makes what, 40,000, 30,000. If you give the average guy a strong career, right, and you don't give him a wife, you just give him a strong career, he's got great money, that is typically
That's what
enough
it
for a
he
guy to be
has.
happy. He'll go out and
He,
if he wants a wife, he'll go buy one. He'll go find
mm,
a woman. If he wants just to have sex with women, he'll find a way to just go, you know what I'm saying?
you can
But
buy
like,
that too.
yeah. And so
Everything's for sale.
so like we have to throw that in there. And then when you look at this group of women, these higher earners, these are usually lawyers or whatever, I think that I read. And so these are not black women, right? So like we're talking about, if you take the average millennial black woman, right, and she's young, she's independent, she's, I don't know, she's making, she has a job, okay, she has some kind of white collar job, and then you put her in the higher earning white lawyer woman position, that woman has essentially the same thing that this woman has. She's just older and has more money, but they're in the same boat. You know what I'm saying? And so if these women are saying, "I would trade everything I have now for a husband and children," what makes us think that black women won't eventually, the ones that they're talking about, the ones that they're choosing to stay single, won't get to the point where they are honest with themselves and say, "Hey, I would trade everything I have right now for a partner, for a spouse, for a companion." Right? Like
Yeah,
that's the
Yeah.
inevitable place
I
that this
think
is
that
going to end up.
100%. Because the we just did that the podcast, which illustrated that perfectly. That their priorities are completely out of order. And if they stop and think about it, if they step outside of their ideology and just think it through, then their primary goals, their primary focus right now is not what's going to make them happy because education and career just summarize, it's just money. That's what it goes. People go, and I hate calling it education. Before Kevin Samuels came out and he said, "Hey, it's not education, it's sophistication that you're looking for." I hated calling it education. What I would say is it's job training. That's what most people are going to do. It's not something that you can apply in every area of your life. It's the same as getting
Mm-hmm.
a trade. People go
Mm-hmm.
to school to become a psychologist. They learn about this. They learn how to do a job. They say, "But I'm educated now." I'm like, "Cool, excellent. Can you help me with the car?" "No, you can't." "Okay, that's cool." Well, this guy needs help with his job. Can you help him over there?" "No." Everybody is educated in their own job. So when people go to college and they run around, and especially in our community, they're talking about, "I'm educated. I'm educated. They're better off. They do this. You should." You just got job training and maybe more sophistication.
Learn how to
You're
work
not
real good.
you're not educated. You've been trained to do a job.
God damn, that's funny.
Seriously,
That's
I'm
a
like,
fair point.
I got my communications degree.
Yeah, you're a
Awesome.
little more trained in like social etiquette. You know how to work, move around the office.
That's that's it. You're not more intelligent than somebody
He's
that's in
the
the
movie
hood.
on office.
That's
You just got some
yeah.
job training, and now you think because you got trained to do a specific job that you probably are not even going to get with that degree that you got. You got it in this field. You're not even going to have a job in that field anyway. So it's a communication degree or this or that. And some people at social work, and it's like, how much more educated are you if you got
Huh.
a degree in social work? Or if
Yeah.
you're an elementary school teacher, that
I think.
you're
Yeah, go ahead.
no, go right ahead, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think. I don't think college makes people that much smarter. I think smart people just generally stop by college, just
Sometimes
as a statistical like looking at the probability that if you attend college you'll make more money. Right? It's just like a natural pathway for somebody who's focused on knowing that knowledge is important. But
Mm-hmm.
at the end point, like a lot of people
Yeah.
realize that maybe I didn't need that on the job training because I'm not even gonna do that fucking job. But that
Mm-hmm.
was a good point you said. Just, I mean, that's all it is.
it's job training. It's
And
not. Yeah, go ahead.
and if you don't want to work, why you need all this motherfucking job training
Why you gonna pay to go
and
to a
keep
4-year
them?
university and get in tens of thousands of dollars of debt to then say, "I want a man who takes care of me and I don't want to work"?
What you do
It
that
don't even
for?
make sense.
And then
You
and then
doing it wrong.
and on top of that, take the best years, your prime years, to get the job done, to give it to something you don't want to do in the first place, because you want to have a stay-at-home business. But what stay-at-home business are you gonna start with your
So check
social
this
with your
out, and maybe we can do a reaction to this another day. I had someone send me a video of this young lady. She's probably 27. She's a single mom or whatever, and she just flat out said, and I applaud her. She said a lot of silly shit too, but she flat out said, "Look, I'm not ambitious. I don't want a BMW. I just want a regular car. I don't even really want to work. I don't need to try. I don't want the American dream. I just want to be regular and I want to be left the hell alone." And my very first thought was, that means that you either need to be rich, right, to have everything that you want, or you need to be someone's wife. Like, I really don't see
Another way
any
for that to
other
happen.
kind of way. You know what I'm saying? But like, it was nice to see that, like, she used the word content. I am content with where I am, and I'm like, that is a positive because it
you
is easy to satisfy a content woman.
you
It's
you
easy to satisfy a content woman versus the women who come on the show, Kevinsamuels, right? They say, "Hey, I'm okay with a guy who's here as long as he has ambitions of doing this." You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And it's like that woman is going to be harder to please than if you meet a woman who says, "Look, I'm all right where I am, and I don't need a whole lot more. I just don't want to work all these hours." You
Yeah,
know what I'm
so
Right.
saying?
you 100% right. So that's so big. So content. Women are so concerned with being happy, but happiness is fleeting. Like right now, I wouldn't say I'm happy. I'm not sad. I'm content, right? But they want to be
Mm-hmm.
overjoyed. They want to live in a romance. So they need high emotions running all the time. You got to be making them happy on a daily basis. And if you can't, and they'll say it. You see Facebook posts, you see videos they put up. If you can't make me happy, if you're not making me happy, if something doesn't make me happy, then why am I here?
Yeah,
Why is it
Right.
here? Why is
that
it
is
even
the
in my life?
linchpin. It's all
And
about
Yeah.
happiness. You expect
it's
me to
about
stay somewhere I'm not happy?
continuous happiness. Like it's
Yeah.
a drug that they can just pump in.
I
But
for say
things
yeah. Crack will do it if you looking for some permanent happiness.
right, and
Crackle.
you know, right. That's about it, because it's like you're looking to be content. Like life is good, and then you have happy moments, but you are not perpetually happy. Something will be wrong with you. You would get burned out. Okay,
That's
but
true.
let's jump back in this video. But yeah, that's big. People should be looking to be content and not so much happy. Like, oh, you can be happy with the way your life turned out. Yeah, yeah. I think about my life and it makes me happy. But day to day, you should be content. You shouldn't be looking to be overwhelmingly happy, because that's not possible for most people. I mean, for anybody really to just
Yeah,
be just. It's
I
not.
feel like that shit's a choice, bro. Like, I can
Mm.
decide right now if I think about someone who's done me wrong in the past, or I just think about a situation where I was angry, I can get angry. And if I think
Mm-hmm.
about some shit that made me happy, I can get happy. So it's like, I don't like to hear anyone say, "Oh, you make me feel this way," or "You're not making me." It's like, that's an inside job, man. No one can make you feel any damn thing.
It's a bank job. It's an inside job.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish. Let's polish this thing off. Let's see. Hopefully, I didn't make it too
This
long.
is in Psychology Today. Singlehood over here, shining beacon on the hill. Man over here, color purple, waiting to exhale. Living single, you are likely to be safe from violence.
Mm,
How
no,
many of y'all gonna write into cancel psychology today?
that's not true.
This is how they're talking about your brother, your cousin. This is what men are seeing, that women are writing
Gotta
to
look.
each other. That marriage makes you closer to violence and
I
instability,
gotta see that.
and to be spared problems with money, lying, the problematic management of home and inconsistency. They these women want you out here working and producing. So you can fund the economy that makes their families rich.
No,
That's
no.
it.
Is
This
that
is
okay?
pissing me the
Okay.
fuck off the more I read it. They're not saying that all romantic partners pose risk, but they but that by living single, they are more likely to be safe from those risks.
Hey,
Black women,
bullshit.
I want you to hear how often you are being fed fear regarding black men. We have gotten to the point to where now you got non-black women openly in front of everybody saying you should fear black men. You ain't got Alice Walker and Terry McMillan saying this. You got Maria and them saying this shit. Why? Because the vacancy you leave, they're going to take with Keith. The vacancy you leave, they're going to take with Marcus. The lives of black women are purposeful for one. They're dedicated their time that they spent being single to pursuing important goals, including education, right at the top, travel. What does life look like at 55? I'm going to travel. A bunch of a bunch of average earning women with humanities degrees all feel like they're going to be fucking Dora the Explorer at 55 years old and be world travelers. This is what's being promoted.
Hey, let's cut it. Let's cut
Education,
Oh,
it. Let's cut it.
travel,
Because
that's funny.
employment, and
first, this is gonna
entrepreneurship.
get long. First off, but secondly, there's just so much bullshit here. It's ridiculous. So let's be real. So the statistic Kevin Samuels gives a lot is that 51% of men are single and childless. 64% are in middle class. Right. That I don't know what it's like. I don't know what that statistic is like for women. But most black women I know have kids, right? And I saw this study that basically said that women who have kids, like the safest women,
Yeah.
and we're only talking about women who have kids. We're not talking about women without kids. The safest group of women who are with kids are women who are married to their kids' fathers,
And the
right?
safest children also.
That makes sense, right? Because if you think about like a single mother and a child, they're out here. They neither of them can defend themselves, right?
Hmm.
And without a man to say no, don't go there, no, don't do that, no, don't like those people are shady. They're not even if it's protecting them from their family. Like, hey, they're using you. Don't let them do that. You know what I'm saying? They can't. They if they don't have a support system outside of their family, then they really just have to take whatever the hell comes their way. And so this article is awful. It makes men, it makes marriage, it makes relationships look bad. And I'm willing to bet that this woman is single.
She
Um,
is. She is
I'm
a
sure she is.
career
I'm sure she
single
is.
person.
I'm sure she's a feminist. And I'm glad I don't have a daughter. But if I did, just because of shit like this, I just wouldn't let her on the internet because you could come across this as a young lady, 16, 17, 18, read it and think she makes good points, right?
Yeah.
And have no clue that you're about to fuck yourself over.
Yeah, that they yeah, cause it's piggybacking off of what you said on the about the being safer in the home. You know, first off, we know that the one way violence, the majority of one way violence in relationships does come from women. And you know, while they're doing this, also the children are better off with both parents. Children are more likely to get abused in homes if there's a man there that's not related to the children. But you know what? Oh man, they're still talking about the guys. Let's just take the fathers out completely. Children in homes without fathers, children in homes with single mothers are more likely to be abused. Period.
Mm-hmm.
I think I
I
got.
believe it.
Let's see.
Yeah, I was looking that up while I found some things supporting that and I found some things against that online. But I mean it if you look at the unsolved murder mysteries, it's always some single bitch getting snatched up in the street. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you know, uh,
Those are the unsolved ones,
Because
man.
here's the thing, bro. There are bad people out there. There are bad men out there, and a woman cannot protect herself from a bad man. She doesn't have the strength. The best thing
Right.
she can do is stay away. But like a man is a woman's natural protection. So by saying I'm choosing to be single, I'm choosing not to attach or align myself with a man, you're saying I'm choosing to forego protection. And then what you hear them
Mm,
say is, "Oh, black men don't protect black women,"
you
as if
know,
they're entitled to it.
basic
mm.
logic. You know, a certain percentage of men and women are going to be abusive, are going to be
Yeah,
violent. A certain percentage. And if you don't marry, right, and you deal with multiple people, you're more likely to run into someone who is abusive. There's a study done in
yeah.
Australia, and one of the things, and let's not forget. that psychologists note promiscuity as a risky behavior that's associated with depression, right? So when you're not locked down, you're not in a long term relationship, you're not with a man, the more men you deal with, basic logic,
That makes
the
sense.
more
The more
likely you
likely you are to
are
come
to
across a
run
violent man.
into someone who is
Yeah,
violent. It's
yeah.
basic logic. It's just numbers. If
Hmm.
if if 5% of men are violent and you date 15, you're more likely to encounter someone who's violent than someone who met a man and married him.
So let me throw a trick question out there, just for the sake of argument. Do you think a single celibate woman who's not dating would be safer?
Single celibate woman,
Who's not dating?
is not dating. You know, being a single lady, if she stays in the home with her parents, she's probably gonna be safer than everybody.
Yeah,
If
she
I
and
believe
probably
that.
be safer.
I believe that.
she'd probably be
Yeah.
that she'd probably be safer than everyone, because I mean, even if 3% of men, if we're talking about statistically, 3% of men are, then and you live with your parents and you're celibate, you don't date, well then you're going to take that factor out. So you're
Hmm.
going to take away your one way violence, or you're going to take away the violence that you would perpetrate on someone that they would reciprocate or that they would take out on you.
But
So
it,
you'll be dealing with less people.
I mean, so that was just for argument's sake. But at the same time, we're talking about human females, right? Like they
Yeah,
desire and they crave intimacy, relationships, and even more so than men do, right?
yeah,
So again, I know that was for argument's sake, but it's so nebulous that it doesn't even make sense because that's not a life that they would
Psych-
choose if they had the choice.
it's not something that most healthy adults would do. Choose not
Mm.
to have romantic relationships. Most people don't choose not to have them. The vast majority of people fail at getting them.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is what I was going to mention. So this will be my last big point, and then
Yeah,
we can wrap up. I think
yeah.
the video had less than a minute left, but my big point was this. So Kevin Samuels talked about Order 66, and you guys are familiar with his concept, Order 66. That's the
Mm.
self-destructive program, right? And so before I heard them say that, I just call it their programming. So I was like, yeah, the program, they software is messed up. And my thinking on that has changed, like I was mentioning earlier. I don't think that women have this clear thought. Men are less than us. We better than them. Men, they do say men are trash and stuff like that, but I don't think the thought's that clear and concise. I know they say men are trash, men are dogs, blah blah blah, and they talk bad about women as well. When it benefits them.
Mm-hmm.
But the big thing is, I think Order 66, or what I just call their programming of today, right? Or I think it is replacing the replacing of self-esteem with ego. Used to blow my mind. When I was younger, I would talk to people and they'd be like, they asked me if I had a problem with dancers, strippers, and chicks that were doing this or doing that. Well, if she doing this, she happy. And I'd be like, yeah, okay, that's cool. And but yeah, they don't have any self esteem. They like, yeah, they do. They don't let people talk to them like that. They don't put up with this. They don't put up with that. And I was like, man, they're mistaking. Self esteem, like self love. There's things that if you love yourself, that you don't do.
Mhm.
All right, there's behaviors. If you love your body, there's things that you won't do. You'll take care of it.
That's
It's not
interesting.
many people who love themselves who drink like people who are just super heavy drinkers. Like, oh, I love my body. I love myself. I'm gonna treat myself great.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take care of
yeah,
my health, and then they drink heavily, or then
Yeah.
they get on
yeah.
tables at restaurants and bust it wide open randomly, or
Mm-hmm.
they sleep with random men. For example, women who, like, I was talking to a lady recently, and I asked her, I was like, um, I asked her if had she ever cheated on anyone. She said yes. I said, oh, who? Like, when? She said last year. Someone cheated on me, so I cheated on them back. She had zero self-esteem. How do you know? Because she literally just gave herself to someone, had sex with some random person because somebody upset her. Her body has so little value. Her body, her time, had so little value to her. She just thought, you know what? Just to upset you, just to spite you. And a lot of times they didn't even tell the guy, so he doesn't even know. Just so she can know in her own mind, she gonna throw her body to somebody random that can just run
So
it through
Yeah.
and have fun.
I I I I see what you're saying. I would rather use the word standard though. right? Like if you don't have a standard, like people who have a standard for their health or for their body, right? Typically, I don't see. So let me start over. If you're walking down the street and you see someone has chiseled abs, they're huge, like no one's forcing them to go to the gym or do those things. Their personal standard is this is just what I do. So therefore I do it, right? And so a woman who says I got cheated on and then I went and slept with someone else and then didn't even tell them is like that she just doesn't have a standard. I sleep with people because of revenge. Not I vet who I sleep with. Not I sleep with people who I can acquire resources from or who love me or who treat me a certain way. No, the standard from to get access to my body is you just got to meet me at the right time when I'm upset. You
But
know
yeah,
what I'm
but
saying?
that's it. That shows a lack of
It's a lack
self-esteem.
of standards or it's low
But it's
standards.
no standards, and she had no standards because she didn't have any self-esteem. The underlying issue is that she didn't value herself. There's no self-love,
Yeah,
and so that's the underlying issue. But absolutely, that
Yeah, I
that
can.
means that you're just not going to have standards, and so
Yeah,
that's where we come in. Where they have desires, they have high standards for other people, but don't have any standards for themselves. Why don't they have any
mm,
stand? Well, you don't lose weight. Are you insane? My attitude, you out of your goddamn mind. I'm gonna do what I
mm,
want to do. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do. There's no self. There's no self-esteem, but there is a lot of ego. So if you
yeah,
replace someone's self-esteem, you take that away and you give them ego, then that's your control panel. So all you got to do is stroke their ego. So think about it. When you're talking to a woman, what sets her off the most? It's the ego, right? That's the problem that you have. It's the
well,
ego that you run up against. If you're
yeah,
talking to them, if you say,
well,
"Hey, I want you to lose weight," if you say something about their weight, what is that? That's the ego. She's gonna hit you back. It's gonna be anger, right? All of these issues that they say are empowering and all of this stuff for women, they don't come back at you with how much they love themselves. No, I'm not gonna do that. If someone cares about them, I'm not gonna do that. Here, why don't you smoke this crack? I'm not gonna do that, man. Nah, why would I do that to myself? It's usually anger, right? Exercise, they're gonna get
mm,
angry. They're gonna get mad. They're
huh,
gonna get upset. Everything you bring to them, that is that Order 66 or their programming, all the feminism in general, they
yeah.
come back to you with absolute anger because it's against their ego, not their self-esteem. You,
so
yeah,
how do you feel? Just because I feel like ego is kind of like inherently like a masculine trait, right? Like I think it's a tool that men use to like cite confidence, right? When you're faced with a situation, you don't know what it is. You're relying on your ego to uh, give you the confidence you need to do whatever you got to do. It's an inflation of your self esteem, so to speak, which again comes off as masculine, comes off as like
hmm
manly confidence, right? And it's like you kind of can't be told what to do. But I don't know. With men, it's like a natural balance, right? When you're falling into your hierarchy of who's allowed to have the most ego here, who's directing traffic here, right? And so it feels really combative when you come against a woman who's like,
yeah,
you can't tell me something, and there's no hierarchy, right? She's just like, well, I'm 50-50 equal, and
yeah.
you can't tell me how to change this shit because I'm doing the shit I want to do, and that's when you get like real like you can't have that ego without knowing how to check it. You know what I'm saying? Without knowing how to like fall in line when you fall in line. But in
But
a relationship, that doesn't really work.
their egos
I
are,
see what you're saying. Yeah,
just they just run rampant. It's out of them.
Right.
There's no, there's
And when
you
you're
know
that
I
emotional, having an ego when you're very emotional about things is like everything's an insult at that point. Like I could tell, I guess maybe like you get the dad bod over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, boy, you grow
yeah,
fat. You know what I'm saying? And you would, if that equated to you not going to the gym these past few months, you'd be like, damn, nigga, I need to get this shit checked out. You laugh about it,
right.
whatever.
mm-hmm.
Tell a woman she get fat. I can tell a man I don't know he got a dad bod. I was telling him, like, boy, like I could just meet this nigga today and talk about this his size.
Yeah,
But with a woman, right, it's gonna like hit hard. So it's like you can't have that type of ego of not wanting to change things about yourself, and also like be emotionally sensitive and break down and feel like
bro.
people are
And
with
those to me, those make the worst type of leaders, right? Ones where like
you.
you
Right,
can't tell them nothing,
right,
and you don't know who they're gonna be every day. Like they might be up one day, they may be down the next. You have a comment that like is you say it in
Mm,
spirit, it mean you mean well, you're trying to help them, but it doesn't matter because they're going to take it as you said as an insult.
Well, that's
right.
all they can take it as because they only come from a place of ego. Because
Hmm.
self esteem to have Order 66, the program. I mean, I'm gonna use his terminology because I mean, more people know it. So, Order 66 is basically once again you just take out the self esteem. So if people
Hmm.
don't have if they don't have self love, if they don't value themselves, and all they have is their ego. If you lose your ego and you have nothing else, then you will literally fall apart. You'll become nothing. So you have to do everything possible to protect your ego. Nothing can. So make him a plate. Well, I'm gonna make him a plate, and then it'll be his
He
face. I
can
mean,
make his
Andrew,
own plate.
but and this is one thing that most men know, especially black men. It's not because they don't want to. It's not because they don't want to do it. It's like I don't want to do it because you want me to do it. I don't have a
Right.
problem doing it, but it's you. Well, I'm gonna do that just because you said so. I ain't gonna do it just because he said.
Because
Right.
we're
Cause
equals.
Well, it's not even that. It's like that. It's just like, it's like they like you can't tell them anything. You can't work with them. They can't do anything that would put them in a weaker position because then their ego would shatter. So it's not even you can't even be equal with them because I don't know, have you when's the last time you tried to negotiate? Equal is not on the table. You could
Uh-huh.
go to the money thing. Shoot, I ask a lady, ask any woman. Okay, say they oh, I want a 50, you want a partnership. Okay, cool. That's cool. Okay, that's awesome. So basically, if you met a man who made 150,000 and you made 50,000, you would be okay splitting the bills 100% 50-50, 100% 50-50, and his $100,000 is his because you only make 50 grand. So
They don't
he
want that.
should not bring in his additional $100,000 into your relationship because that would be wrong.
50.
That would be wrong. They'd be like, no, what are you talking
Hmm.
about? Of course he should. I mean,
Man.
we in a relationship together. I got his back and he got mine. Well, can you bring him a plate and he'll bring you that 100 grand? No, he can make his own plate. Why am I bring him a plate for? That's it goes. So
I'm
it's
dead.
like it is you completely. They have the self esteem, the self love is gone. Like I told you, I used to date a
Hmm.
lady who would talk and she'd say, "Don't make me act my color." The self love gone, completely replaced with ego, and that's why they always have to be on the defense because you have to defend your ego.
That's tough.
You have to defend your ego. But that's all I got.
That's tough.
Yeah. Now that's it. This is a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
interesting. That was interesting.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
so that was the first one. So we'll be doing more of these. So make sure, hey guys, comment, tell us what you think. If we spot on, if we're off a bit, hit the follow button, hit the bell icon, and we'll see you on the
All that
next one.
shit. Yes, sir.
All of it.
All right, guys.
All right.